G'day guys, how you going? It's Mark from Central Queensland 4x4 Explorers, and I'm down the Dee River just outside Mount Morgan. I'm down here to have a look at a little gravesite that was here, and I'll put up a bit of a story and I'll tell you a bit about it and that. But yeah, it's a very tragic little story, this one, but it's over just there. Anyway, we'll go have a look. Follow me. Got to go through these fences anyway, so yeah. Now, it is private property, but it's a heritage listed little gravesite, and you are allowed to come and see it. Just make sure you pay your respects, and make sure you don't wander off in the bush anywhere, because yeah, it's snake season at the moment, so you've got to watch out for snakes. But here it is anyway. So how did I come across this little one? Research. I was doing research, and actually looking on a bit of Google Maps, and I seen at the sign back up there, it had a historical gravesite, and I thought, I've never heard of that one. I've never seen this one before, and I thought I'd do the history and the history of it, sorry, and see what it's all about. So yeah, let me. I'll explain a bit of what happened, and a bit of story. So keep on watching, eh? So the story goes, there was a cyclone back in 1928, around April, and it started producing a lot of rain, 5 days worth of rain actually, heavy, which caused the Dee River and the surrounding creeks to start rising, including Fletcher's Creek, which is just around down there. Anyway, the story goes, this family, they were actually had some slab huts now down, as known as McBride Creek, flowed in from the south. So at the junction where the two creeks meet, on the southern side of Slab Hut Creek, Lawrence Muldoon lived and grew cotton. With him, there were the Williams family, which this is the Williams family. It consists of Alfred Sr., Jr., Alfred Jr., his wife Eileen, and their three young kids, Elsie, Dorothy, and Henry. All the adults were cotton picking and lived on the property with Muldoon. On Saturday the 21st of April 1928, it rained really, really heavy, and it rained into the early mornings of the Sunday, the next day, on the 22nd, before daylight. There was a gentleman called Charles Curtis, which was living in that area too, actually heard the cracking of timber and the roaring of the water rushing down the two creeks from the mountains. From where the two creeks started, at daybreak, Curtis could see that two creeks were as one. So Curtis hasn't seen anything like this for 20 years since he had lived here. Curtis could see the Muldoon and Williams huts were washed away, and he knew that there was no escape from them. The water had been about 16 feet deep. What's that? 4 meters deep? Is that right? I think in the meters. Yeah, that's a lot of water. You know. Yeah, I feel very upset. Well, not upset, but very sad for what happened to them. You know, because they probably don't know what happened. You know, the water might have just hit them when they're still asleep in their huts. It wasn't until 10 a.m. that Curtis could swim across the river to where the two huts would have been, and he went, he went there and he found nothing. It all washed away. You know, all the equipment and the sheds and everything, but for two posts and a tree. Now I've been doing a little bit of research. The tree was a willow tree, and I've been trying to look for where they live down here, but I can't see it, so it might be gone by now. But Now on Monday the 21st, the police were notified at Mount Morgan and left for Woolmew at about 5 p.m. At daybreak on the 24th, Tuesday, the search began. Muldoon's body was first found. Next was the two girls and Alfred Sr., all in the Fletcher's Creek, this is the D here that runs along there. So Fletcher's is down further down there where the Fletcher's Dam, if you've heard of where the dam is. The dam's originally for the Mount Morgan mine it was, and now it's owned by the council. Actually, this road that I came on goes that way to a private fence, and it's owned by the council. The rest of the road, but all this is private all over that way. Back to the story anyway. Alfred Jr., the body was found 4 kilometres away from his hut down the Dee River, and his wife, Aline, the body was found 30 kilometres away between Delulu and Wowan. That must have been a real big rush of water that pushed him down that far, eh? It's just, yeah. Anyway, her body was found, and it was wrapped in a hessian and buried where she was found. It was actually about 1 kilometre in from the Dee River, so the water came up that far. This is a sad thing now. The boy, his body was never found. So the poor fella doesn't have anything, couldn't have a good burial or nothing. Now Muldoon's body was taken to Mount Morgan and buried in the Mount Morgan Cemetery. Alfred Sr. was buried on the banks of the Fletcher's Creek and then resumed sometime later and buried in the Mount Morgan Cemetery. Alfred Jr. and the two girls were buried at Enright property at the site on the evening of the 25th of April 1928. So this here is where they were buried. The service was held by candlelight. Some years later, Aline's body was recovered and buried with her husband and the two children. So this is where they are actually buried. It's not a big, they said somebody's come down and done this for them a few years ago. And Mel, a friend of mine, actually came down and showed me this the other day. And he even, I reckon, he even mentioned that he'd like to actually see a plaque commemorating them here and at this site. I'd love to come down and help, and I'd like really to see this this little gravesite cleaned up, and yeah, because I think another 6 more years and it's a 100-year anniversary of their them being put here to rest. So if there's anybody out there who'd like to help out, I think it's going to be, it needs to be done in this this little site. Yeah, get in contact with me, and I'll get Mel to help out and see what we can do for this family. Now I'm just going to pay my respects for a minute's silence, but I'll put up their ages and their names and everything for you, and see if I can get a little bit over more for you. So guys, hope you like this one. This is a very worthwhile experience actually seeing this little gravesite, and came down to pay my respects to him, and I'd love to actually help and do something about it, you know, with a plaque or whatever, just to show that they're here, because I don't know, 5, 10, 15 years from now, it's all going to be overgrown probably, and you know, there might not be any anything of them left here. So a little plaque will be good to see. Anyway guys, hope you've enjoyed it, and we'll see you on the next one. Oh, by the way, there is a couple more grave sites too that I'm researching on. One of their family members I have been talking to has told me about it, and I'd love to go share their story too. So watch out for that one. See you later.